This is absolutely huge. Man City have signed Gvardiol from Red Bull Leipzig. This is huge for me as a City fan. I love it when we sign these big centre-halves coming in Akanji, Laporte, John Stones, Ruben Diaz. We've got a good record of signing them and turning them into champions. And he looks like an absolute talent. It's a massive transfer.
Huge transfer. My question for you though, Buvey, when you reel off the Manchester City defence there and the Manchester City options, have you just spent £80 million for a player to not start for you?
Yeah.
He doesn't get in your defence, does he?
No.
You can't rejig that defence. That defence was sensational last year.
No.
It's already got Laporte not getting in it. Well, what's this going to mean for him?
Laporte's at the point of his career where he wants consistent football.
Great.
And he's already had the time at City. Gvardiol's going to come in and think, I can get rid of Akanji, I can start ahead of him. John Stones has always got an injury in him, unfortunately. Same with Ake. And I think with four centre-halves, if you're playing 50 or 55 games a season like City do, plus the Club World Cup is a massive factor, and he'll be thinking about the Euros for Croatia as well, of course, the move makes a lot of sense for him. He might not even be a starter and play 30 games next season, and then he's young. And I think this transfer is the start of a real rebuild for City. We won the treble with a few players that have obviously been shipped out the door, Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez, potentially Bernardo Silva, Calvin Phillips. But the centre-back's position, very, very exciting. John Stone's still at a very good age. Ruben Diaz is scarily young. And this kid comes in, he'll be the most expensive defender of all time, which is a massive statement that City are sort of bidding on his success. But I think City are looking at a 5, 6, 7 year kind of horizon where he isn't at the club, Guardiola, and who will be a leader at the club when he's gone. And Gvardiol will be the first of many players that get brought in to kind of usher a post-Guardiola era into Man City.
Booth, you've done this to me a couple of times and I don't quite understand it. You are talking about a post-Guardiola era, but I feel like you're preempting something. I haven't seen, apart from you, who is my Manchester City counsel, I haven't seen this. Am I missing something? Like, why are you sort of preparing yourself for the worst here? Is this like a form of self-soothing? You're just constantly going, this is for life post-Guardiola. This is for life post-Guardiola. When Guardiola seems to be very happy at the club and has made no suggestion.
No, I'm not saying this is him wanting to leave. And I think there's a good chance that he says, all right, at the moment, as of today, he's got 2 more years on his contract. So that's 2 more seasons. So by the end of next season, he'll be looking at moving on. If that is how it happens, he might look at Barcelona. He won 2 Champions Leagues in 4 years. He ended up being their most successful manager ever in a 4-year period, and then he took a year off in New York, the sabbatical.
That was because of Roberto Di Matteo. Yeah, Roberto Di Matteo battered him so badly that he needed some time away
by
from
parking
football.
the bus.
No, just by battering him.
Yeah, but he needed time away, of course. So all I'm saying is Guardiola might just say, look, I'll see out the contract. I've won everything there is to win. I want to move to a different club, manage Spain, or just retire. Or I'm not. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing that into the situation is because, you know, we have to transition. It's all well and good keeping Laporte against his wishes. We could have done that. Same with Bernardo Silva. But instead, City are going out and saying, let's sign the most exciting young centre-back in world football. Let's make a statement and bring it in for 80 plus probably 20 million in add-ons, close to £100 million total package. And then saying, you are the future of City with Ruben Diaz, without a Kyle Walker, maybe with Rico Lewis as a fullback. Nathan Ake is still very young. It's very, very exciting in terms of the long-term outlook of City, whether Guardiola is there or not.
It's a very interesting thing that Guardiola did last year, wasn't it? You know, the way that he played 4 centre halves as a back line. I don't think we've ever seen that before. Generally speaking, you know, you'd have fullbacks as fullbacks. He has decided to reimagine centre halves and reimagine fullbacks and kind of merge the conceptual idea. John Stones became a right back. You know, we've seen 4 centre halves. Nathan Ake. Do you believe that will continue next season? And will Guardiola be part of that?
Yeah, he will. I think there's a big role for him to play, and Guardiola wants 4 people that have got the physicality off the ball to be aggressive, win the ball high up, win things in the air critically, because you could definitely levy at Guardiola's sides that they're soft in the air at points, that Barcelona side I'm talking about. But now we're really robust defensively, and some of these centre-backs, despite how big they are, they're very, very technically gifted on the ball. Nathan Ake can pop it into midfield quick, get a 1-2, do little reverse passes, etc., and so can Gvardiol. So I think the Kyle Walker era of bombing forward with the Gael Clichy, Kolarov era, you know, I don't think it's. I think the likes of
Are you troubled by this, though? Like, when you think about the success that Kyle Walker was part of, when you think about how incredible and how integral Joao Cancelo was for a period, do you like this new strategy?
Yeah.
Is it something that you, individually, I'm not suggesting that you think you know more than Guardiola, of course I'm not, but you are allowed to dislike an idea. Do you like this 4 centre-half?
Yeah, I love it.
Why?
I love it. Well, obviously, on the proof's in the pudding. It helps us win the Champions League. Kyle Walker did obviously feature in the Champions League final, but the back four against, I think it was against Real Madrid, where we definitely played all four. It offers so much balance that if one gets caught out of position, suddenly you've got 3 centre-backs, massive, that can just protect the ball, put their bodies on the line. Defensively, our record was absolutely incredible in the final few weeks of the season. And I think it was bombing on the Cancelos and all that. You were right about Cancelo. There was a period we considered him the best fullback in the world.
Absolutely sensational.
And then you look at it and think his numbers weren't very good, and that's because he's a fullback. So you're getting these moments where he's going forward, he's attacking, he looks incredible in the eye, and then he gets caught out of position against Salah at Anfield last season, which could have cost us the league title.
On him, he'll be coming back for his conversation with Guardiola, as he will be contractually obliged to do. Any chance he features at all for City again?
Maybe pre-season. Maybe he goes on tour pre-season. Maybe.
No way that he becomes a starter, say.
Not for me. There might be a conversation because Kyle Walker leaves and he isn't ready to trust Rico Lewis. But for me, I think you have all the centre-back options we've got. Gomez played very well at the under-21 Euros. So he could come in as a left-back option behind the centre-back. And then as a right-back option behind a Akanji at right-back is Rico Lewis.
Who does Guardiola replace? Akanji?
He technically replaces Laporte for me because I think if we had Real Madrid tomorrow in the Champions League final tomorrow with the squad including Gvardiol, I think it's a back four of Stones, Diaz, Akanji, and Ake for me.
So he's replacing the bench.
Yeah, but then that's why I bring in the long-term solution of the situation because he'll be on a long-term contract. I think it's a 5-year deal.
But they're all young players.
And then, yeah, but I think Akanji, he'll be looking. I think the great thing about City, and people will say, oh, it's the whole spending loads of money and all that. It's a very astute signing.
A record price for a player that you're not convinced gets in your team. Like, we've ridiculed Arsenal for spending so much money on Kai Havertz and then not saying
Grealish was a world record in terms of the most expensive Englishman of all time, £100 million. He wasn't at it in the first season. Second season he was.
No, but we thought he would start. He was signed to start. He didn't perform well enough to start.
Yeah, exactly.
But recently, I don't know if you saw, but Robbie Lyle, who I adore, right? But he was on TalkSport, and there was this funny clip where he was talking about Kai Havertz, saying what a good signing he was. And then when he was asked to do his first 11, Kai Havertz wasn't in it.
Yeah.
You're like, hang on a minute, you've just said what a good signing he is. You've just said how impressed you are with that signature, and yet you've done your best team and he's not in it. And Robbie was ridiculed for that. You've done the same here, because you've said, great signing, exactly what we need. Delighted to welcome him to the club. Really pleased that we've done it. We've spent more money than anyone had ever spent on a defender before. Not in my team.
Yeah.
Do you deserve ridicule for that? Or
no, I don't deserve any ridicule ever about any of my football opinions. That's just how I see it. But signings these days, I'm sorry, 90 million quid, in my eyes as a football fan, is obscene amount of money. So of course, if you spend 90 million quid, he should be starting tomorrow. Of course. But signings these days are long-term investments, and City will look at 90 million quid spread across 5 years and think, in year 2, will he come good? In year 2.5, will he come good? In year 3, will John Stones want to leave and join a different club? You know, Kyle Walker has left. Yeah. You know, maybe there's a world where he plays 30 games next season as a right back or a left back. So that's the situation.
There we go.
It's a massive deal.
Do you know what, Buvey? I don't know if I told you this, but I went to the Qatar World Cup and I saw Guardiola play there.
Did you? Yeah.
And he was fantastic.
That's fantastic.
I went to a few Croatian games.
Did you get paid for that tournament?
And he was... No,
fantastic.
No,
fair play. Charitable from you, mate.
It was an amazing tournament and he was an amazing player there. Yeah. So, congratulations on the signing. Thank you to everybody for watching this clip. We really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do us the honour of clicking the subscriber button. We would be honoured to welcome you into this community. And let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. In a bit.